Hey guys, guess what? We got our computer out. And when this computer comes out, it is time for us to go to school. But it's a different kind of school today. Today, Natasha is going to teach you how to make your travel plans come to life. Travel is something that most people desire, but a lot of people are bound by fear that they won't be able to afford it, fear that they don't know where to get started on how to make it happen, and just fear of the unknown. Listen, I was in your shoes. As a kid, I went to Florida every year. And while I appreciate that, it was through Disney World, Epcot World Center, going around the world. And if you know, you know, that gave me a quest and a desire to see what the world had to offer. It was calling my name, and I answered that call. A lot of you are in my position. You see others on social media living their best lives abroad and traveling, and it looks so much fun, but you don't know where to begin. I got you. I got you, and I'm going to help you today.
Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Ay, still not understanding.
Y'all gotta excuse my neighbor's dogs are having a good time outside, so excuse the background noise if you hear it. We're just gonna keep pushing through, okay? This is us. This is life. Nevertheless, I want to help you. I want to help you plan your next vacation. I want you to, think about where you want to travel to, and let's get you there. So many times I get asked, how did, who did my plans? And how did where did you begin? You know what? I'm not a travel agent. I just have a huge passion for travel and a desire to make my dreams come to life. So I get on this website. Personally, I know Travelocity, Emirates Vacations, Southwest Vacations. Realistically, I look at all three of those quite often to see who's offering the best package, because all of them are going to offer vacation packages. But I find the best vacation package for me, where I want to go. And most times, when looking at or thinking of the places, now of course I created a bucket list, but before I knew what I knew, I would go on YouTube and, look up popular vacation destinations for families, popular vacation destinations for couples, romantic resorts. So I would have these places in mind and then go to, say, Travelocity. What I'm doing now is I'm also going to pull it up. It's either going to be on this side or this side, but pull it up so that you can see how I begin to plan for said vacation. So I'm going to shop by packages. And one place that we've gone to, I've been blessed and fortunate to go to a couple times, that people still, find amazing. I myself do too. I can imagine myself having a home here, but that's Dubai. So we're going to look up Dubai. I know from traveling to Dubai, the most popular season to go to Dubai is from October to April. Anytime outside of those months, you can, get some reasonable, better rates. But because I have traveled there, I know that September, like mid-September, is a good time to also travel there. It's still going to be hot, but not as hot as, say, July would be. So I'm going to plan for September 11th. I know that it takes, 14 hours plus to get there. That's on a nonstop, but sometimes, depending on my cost variance, I might be willing to do a layover. So even though we leave Chicago on the 11th, we're not going to get to Dubai until the 12th, right? I would suggest that when you're traveling, if you live in a smaller town or you're not near a major hub airport, take a cheap flight to one of those major hubs because you might find that you can save $700 to $800 by just traveling to a major hub. So if it's going to cost you $79 to get from Oklahoma to Chicago, right? But you're saving $800 on your trip from OKC to Dubai, it's a no-brainer. Take a cheap flight to Chicago and catch that flight, right? Make sure that you're allowing enough time for variance because you just never know with these flights. Sometimes there are delays. So just allow yourself enough time for that said delay, right? Hopefully there are none, but just in case, give yourself some time for that. So I would say from September, even though we're leaving on the 11th, we're not going to get there until the 12th, which means I personally like a minimum of 7 days. So we're not going to come home until September the 19th, right? So we're going to hit done and we're going to see what it brings up. Now, listen, I'm a little picky when it comes to where I lay my head. Some people don't care. They just want a place to lay there, go to sleep at night. That's not me. I prefer, amenities, options, a nice place. Not the best. Well, not the best, but nice, really nice. So as we look at the search engine, it's going to bring up our hotels. And from there, we're going to pick a hotel that makes sense for us. Look at the one that I just put in the search engine here. You see that? The Waldorf Astoria. I know that that's an exceptional resort, and as you can see here, exceptional. So, and I know that the Palm Jumeirah, that's on the Palm, so it's on their man-made, water. It is a desirable location. If you didn't know that though, when you're doing your research, just take a look at the rating. 8.6, excellent. 9.0, Hotel Real, wonderful. Jamir Zabil I'm not familiar with that particular hotel, so personally, I probably wouldn't choose that. But I know the Sofitel, it's a 9.2. I would go for something like that. See, these are the Atlantis. Now, I personally stayed at the Atlantis. As you can see, it's 1920 compared to the Waldorf 1500 or 1468. Guess what? I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go with the Waldorf. The Waldorf is even rated higher than the Atlantis, right? So I'm going to choose that. And for $1468 per person, I know that I can go to Dubai and stay 7 nights, and that includes my round trip airline tickets, my taxes, and my resort. This is no-brainer, guys. So how can we budget to afford that? Okay, $1468. So now, guys, I am not saying that if you're having problems paying your rent or paying your mortgage or making ends meet, that this is a particular trip that you should be paying for right now. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for the person who has a little disposable cash to play with, who believes that they can't afford to travel because it's going to be too costly, I am here to show you that you can afford the trip, right? This is not for the person that is struggling to put food on their table. This is not this. One day, once you're at the point where things are better, then go back and look at this video. But this is for the person who travels to, Vegas or Orlando, and they believe that not that those are not great places, or Miami. Not that they don't believe that these are not great places, but because they may have a fear of traveling abroad because they think they can't afford it. Because I'll show you something. For $1468, that's Dubai, including airfare and hotel. If I were to put in, I'm going to say Miami, what would the difference be? So leaving from Chicago, and we're going to compare apples to apples, to Miami, and we're going to say 7 nights still, but we're going to put it in September 11th through the 18th. We wouldn't stay until the 19th because we're going to get to Miami on the 11th. And what does that cost? Now remember, we were at $1468 for Dubai. What is air and hotel for Miami for an equivalent resort? It's thinking, bear with me. And the search engine that I'm using, guys, you can use the same search engine in Emirates Vacations, Southwest Vacations. All of these do the same thing. You want to compare. So I strongly recommend, when looking at your travel before you book, compare it to other search engines just to make sure that you're getting the best package. Now, if you feel comfortable, you can book it from there, or you can call your travel agent that you're comfortable with and have them book it. But do your own research. Don't look for the agent to plan your dream vacation. You should have an idea of what type of stay you want, how these resorts look, so that when you get to this location, there are no surprises. You have a good idea of what the quality of resort, the type of stay. You don't want to put that all in someone else's hands, because their love and their likes may not match your idea of what quality looks like. So you want to make sure that you take some of the onus and put it in your own hands and do a little bit of your own research. Now, a 9.0, which is coming up, Lowe's for Miami. So the Lowe's Miami, guys, is $1558. So guess what that's telling me? It costs the same exact price, actually more, to travel from Chicago to Miami that it will cost you to go from Chicago to Dubai. And I can tell you from experience, you'll have a much better time in Dubai. Not that Miami is not a great time, because yes, it is. But the quality of vacation, that thing is going to look different. Okay? Catch my drift. I am not downplaying Miami and what it is. I just want you to see that you can pay the same price and travel over the pond and be in this magical space, exploring areas that you didn't think were financially possible for the same cost as it would take you to go from Chicago to Miami. Listen, guys, we're getting you across the pond. We're going to make some dream vacations happen for you this year. If you have any questions for me, ask me below. Please engage. Let me know, what's stopping you. What fear do you have? Maybe I can speak to it, especially if I've been to that location. I would love to discuss or even show you some of my experiences from these said locations so that I can help you become more comfortable with traveling. Guys, when you travel domestically versus internationally, the airplanes are just a different experience. It's more legroom. They feed you. They serve you wine, red wine, white wine. I believe beer, and this is all in economy, guys. I'm not even speaking of premium economy or comfort, and don't let me get started on the business class. Guys, traveling abroad, traveling internationally is just a different experience. And I'm not speaking Caribbean international. I'm talking about once you start going across the pond. Those planes, those aircrafts are just different. You get 2 aisles. You can literally walk all around. The restrooms are slightly bigger than what they would normally be on domestic flights. They just make sure that you are comfortable, well fed, and that you get a good nap in before you get to your location. So now I do recommend that you take your travel pillow. Take your travel pillow. They will give you, most of these aircrafts will give you a toothbrush, a travel toothbrush and toothpaste in your little, bag that they're going to give you once you get on that plane. But if you want your own toothpaste, bring that in your carry-on bag. Bring a little travel case that includes your toothbrush, your toothpaste, maybe some facial wipes, so that you can, once you reach morning, you can freshen up. They give you so many options on movies to watch, and these are things that are all included in your flight. They do make it very comfortable, and I'm not just speaking of giving you dinner, but maybe breakfast or lunch and a snack in between. Guys, I can't wait for you to explore and experience what this world has to offer you. It is truly waiting for you. I want to be able to answer your questions, so I think I'm going to stop it right here because I know the things I said are going to engulf some questions in you. So I want to give you opportunity to ask those questions, and I will come back with part 2 on how to explore cruising, how to appreciate cruising and traveling abroad, and connecting both of those spaces into one trip. For example, instead of taking a cruise from Florida or, Mississippi or California or New York, taking a cruise from the Mediterranean. So starting in Spain or starting in Rome, and how that opens you up to explore different areas, right? So that I'm going to talk about and discuss next. That was one of the best vacations that I've ever explored or been a part of. And I want to show you guys how to make those connections too, and how to build in some land trip when you do those international cruises, right? So I want to discuss some how-to guides, because you don't have to just watch others do it. We're going to put you in the seat, and we're going to let you take control of your next destiny. All right? Talk to you soon.